Brooklyn, Michigan. The Irish Hills. Sleepy towns, rolling vistas, calming lakes. A place of beauty and serenity. But not today. These trucks don't do quiet, and they aren't very patient. With just 3 races before the first ever chase, they can't afford to be. It's desperation time for some. Start fast, stay out front, take risks, because only a win guarantees you an end.
It's Matt Crafton bringing it home.
We're going chasing if you're Matt Crafton.
Checkered flag is Christopher Bell. John Hunter Nemechek wins in Atlanta.
Those that have claimed a checkered just want another. No one will turn down a trip to victory lane or a little Irish luck.
It's all about the chase. Who's out? Who's in? Only 3 races until the playoffs begin. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series in the Irish Hills, Michigan International Speedway. The chase looms and the pressure is on. Cole Custer surely feels it. Only 8 make the chase, and as of today, he's not one of them. Like Custer, Tyler Reddick is also on the outside. He won twice last year, but that doesn't help him now. Reddick needs a win, and time is running out. The standings show Timothy Peters is in on points, but he's on the bubble, and there's no security there. Like those on the outside, Peters longs for that drive into victory lane. And then there's John West Townley. A good points day does him no good. Townley must win. He might be a long shot, but today he starts at the front. He's the pole winner. When you look at the chase standings, well, you see there's a couple on the bubble that desperately need a good day today. Cole Custer and Tyler Reddick on the outside. So much at stake, a berth in the chase on the line. Teams feeling the pressure as we go trackside for opening ceremonies.
Please remain standing as the Michigan State Police presents our nation's colors. Now here to offer today's invocation, Father Jeff Rose.
Almighty God, we thank you for another beautiful day here at Michigan International Speedway. We're grateful that the weather has cleared. As we're here to enjoy this Careers for Veterans 200, we ask a special blessing on our veterans in thanksgiving for their service. Keep our teams and drivers safe as they compete for us today. We make all these prayers with great faith, hope, and love. Amen.
Here today to honor America with the performance of our national anthem, please welcome the U.S. Army Chorus Quartet.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The
rain is gone. The track is dry. The drivers are ready. And so are we. Going racing from Michigan next. Great to see the activity on pit lane and the teams getting ready. The drivers have climbed in, getting ready to do 100 laps, 200 miles from Michigan, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Good afternoon and welcome. Finally, we're here and glad to be here getting ready for some racing along with Michael Waltrip and Phil Parsons. I'm Vince Welch, and well, it's not just a race. There's only 3 to go until the chase begins, so the implications are wide-ranging. Even for those that have no chance of being in the chase, winning today could make their year. But boy, for those that are chase eligible, this is a big day, Phil.
I'm nervous, so there's no doubt in my mind that these guys are nervous. We've got guys that have won that we know they're in. We've got guys that are in by points now, but they may not necessarily be in. And then we have some guys that are out right now. How about in the case of Cameron Haley? He goes to Bristol. He gets ready to start that race. He's in our final transfer spot into the chase, right? Well, he has a bad night, Bristol, and he finds himself 42 points out of a chase position. Really has to win, and you're in. As a matter of fact, let's look at our chase standings right now. Left side of the screen, good. We've got wins. We're locked in the chase. Right side, we're all nervous. We've got Daniel Hemrick. He's in a pretty good position right now, but not comfortable enough to say I'm in. 39 points to the good. If any one of those guys below him wins, that puts him possibly on the bubble, and maybe not even in, depending on what happens to Timothy Peters. So there's a lot of consternation in those guys' eyes and the crew chief's guys' eyes, and every one of these teams right now knows that with there's 3 to go, business is picking up.
Oh, and business is going to pick up on the racetrack, too, for sure. We've seen such intense action in practice, 2 and 3 wide. These truckers really trying to figure out what the trucks are going to do when they get in that air that's all mixed up by the competition. You know, your truck runs fine when you're all by yourself. You got a lot of downforce on it. You get in a pack of 10, 20 trucks, and you're 2 and 3 wide, that's a different story. And these guys have been all over this racetrack. And, Phil, we're going to see some of the most exciting restarts today that we've seen all season long. These guys know they got to pounce. They got to go when they're all bunched up. They're going to be trying to make moves, and we're going to be able to see all this stuff unfold, and I can't wait because it's going to be one of the best races of the day.
And how about the fact that rain's washed a lot of the rubber off this racetrack?
That's just another factor we don't know about. And you know what you got to do? You just got to win, baby. That's what it's all about here.
Just win. We saw 3 wide in practice, so no telling what we're going to see when they drop the green flag, and we're getting close to that. The drivers getting strapped in, buckled in tight. And we go downstairs, finally, after a 2.5-hour delay, to get the command.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome today's Grand Marshals, members of Cooper Standard's Veterans Group who have served our great nation.
Drivers, start your engine!
Every bubble we get here, both you guys, Cap and Johnny. Copy that.
Challenged by Mother Nature, but not to be denied. The command has been given. We're going to go racing when we return to Michigan. Despite about a 2.5-hour rain delay, we are about to go racing at Michigan International Speedway. Even the sun starting to poke out for the first time today. That's a good sign. Excited about this race here today as we approach the chase, and always excited to be at Michigan as we take a look at our Camping World track description.
Couple of miles in length, 18 degrees of banking in the corners, those long straightaways, 3,600 foot on the front. You're going to be running over 185, almost 190 miles an hour when you duck into turn 1. That's what this place is all about. You could replace all those stats with one word: speed.
I like it. How about our Camping World race analysis, Phil?
Yeah, you can see this race is 100 laps, 200 miles. Caution clock will come on about 30 green flag laps. Our fuel window is somewhere between 38 and 42. Kyle won this race last year, and don't be surprised if we get an early caution around lap 8 or 10 that a lot of these guys don't come to pit road, try to get in their pit window to make this race on one more stop.
And remember, with all the drafting, you see Kyle Busch, the winner last year. He suffered an early penalty last year and still came back through the field to win. So you're never out of it here at Michigan. As you see our starting grid at the top of the screen, and as you take a look at those, we'll get ready for our onboards, and we've got some great looks today.
Yeah, we're going to ride along with that 51 truck with Cody Coughlin. He has a couple top 15s on some fast tracks, looking for that first career top 10, and he will start from the 10th spot.
We're going to hop on board with our 8th place starter, Tyler Reddick, and his number 29 Cooper Standard Ford. This is our onboard camera by Ford. He's starting 8th. It's got 3,000 guests from Cooper Standard here in the stands. They've been waiting around for this start. Tyler's ready to roll with a chase spot on the line.
We're going to ride along with our 2014 winner, Johnny Sauter. He's in the Alamo Chevy, and for a special treat, we're going to have a 360 cam in that truck. We can look all the way around, in the side, in the back, out the front. It's going to be fun to watch with Johnny Sauter, and he will start 7th.
Let's go up to the front row and hop on board with Matt Crafton. He's starting 2nd. He's 2nd on our chase grid. He has 2 wins this year. His best finish here is 2nd. That's a lot of 2s.
A lot of 2s.
A lot of 2s going for this guy. Let's see if we can check in with one of his fiercest competitors, a guy that's starting right behind him, Timothy Peters. Hello, Timothy. It's Michael Waltrip up in the FS1 booth. Do you copy?
Hey, Michael, I got you, bud.
Well, you got a great starting spot. That truck looked solid yesterday in practice, able to move around the other trucks. What's going to be the biggest challenge on this start here today after this rain shower?
It's just going to be the guy that can keep the most fresh air on his nose all day. Obviously, the restarts are going to be super aggressive, so making sure you're on the receiving end of that as far as on the outcome, being able to come out front like you want it to be. And as the owner, Tom says, be patiently aggressive throughout the day and hopefully put ourselves in position to execute this win and lock us into the chase. So 100% of the laps is what we're looking for to be completed here. Stay in the top 5 all day. We can see the leader and we'll have a shot.
All right, buddy, fight hard. We'll check in with you later and see how it's going.
Thanks, bud.
We've heard from the driver. Now let's hear from Timothy's crew chief. We'll go downstairs with one of our pit reporters, Caitlin Vincey.
Well, Vince, I'm joined by Shane Huffman up here on top of the pit box. Shane, how do you strike that balance between being aggressive and also protecting the points you have right now?
Well, it is a tough balance, but I feel like we've had the speed to win a few races this year. We just haven't been finishing, so we can't be as aggressive as some of the guys that's locked in, but we're going to push the envelope today for sure on that last stop on our get home lap here, and hopefully Timothy and Red Horse Tundra's got enough speed in it to win the race.
Thanks for your time. Best of luck to you, Hermie.
Marcus Richmond is the crew chief for Cole Custer. No math needed for you and your team. You need to win, and you're in. What's your strategy to get the job done today?
Yeah, I mean, this Haas Automation team, we've been working hard to try to build this program, get it better and better. And I think we've been gaining on it a lot. Everybody's been working hard. We thought we had a good chance of winning Bristol there, and we ended up coming up a little short. Like you said, we just got to win. We struggled a little bit today in qualifying, but hopefully it drives good in the race. And, we're still not out of it. We're getting closer and closer. If the 17 has some problems, I think we can be right there. So just got to capitalize and, bring it home.
We'll watch Cole Custer. He'll roll off 18th today, Vince.
You can feel the energy and the pressure on these teams as they race for the chase. Green when we come back to Michigan. 3 races remain until the playoffs begin. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, 200 miles from Michigan International Speedway. Just about ready to take the green flag and start this race. The 2 yellow trucks will lead us. The one on the inside, Matt Crafton, he already has 2 wins. He's in the chase. The one on the outside, John West Townley, he needs to win to get in. Needs to win one of these final 3 races, and you don't get a better chance in that built-in track position than starting on the pole.
I like the fact that he picked the outside. He can keep the 88 pitch down, Vince.
The green waves, and we're racing at Michigan. Crafton getting a push from William Byron. Matt Crafton to the front.
We saw that from Matt Crafton in practice. He was able to drive through those trucks.
Peters on the back bumper of Townley on the outside. William Byron trying to make it work inside for second place with his teammate Christopher Bell behind him.
Remember, a little bit different racetrack, a little bit more green than these guys were on earlier this morning when they qualified.
Matt Crafton in front. Last year's pole winner, but never a race winner here at Michigan. He leads the first lap. John West Townley ducks down to the inside now, trying to go for second on William Byron.
That's when these trucks really get loose, Vince. You get down on the bottom, you've got your hands full. You can see right behind Townley, that's the 11 truck of Brett Moffitt. Watch him early in this race. A lot of people think he might have the fastest truck in Michigan. We'll see if he can charge to the front.
A lot of the crew chiefs and drivers told me that this is going to be like a restrictor plate race. If you get out of line, you could be freight train to go way back.
Here comes Moffitt to the bottom on Townley. See if he can complete this pass.
William Byron taking a peek on the leader, Matt Crafton.
Never backed off that time. Matt Crafton held her down on the mat through that corner.
Look at our leaders up there at the top of your screen. If their name is shadowed in green, they're in the chase with a race win. If they're shadowed in yellow, they're currently in on points. If they're shadowed with a blue background, they're on the outside looking in. They need to make something happen today.
It's an interesting combination. When you're in the front, the 88 truck of Matt Crafton, he's breaking the wind for all those trucks behind him. They're pulling in on the back of him because of the draft, as you can see there. But when they get to the corners, Crafton has an advantage because he's got that air on his nose. It allows his truck to handle better through there. That's why these guys will keep going back and forth, disputing these positions.
And in traffic, these guys are going faster than the pole speed from earlier this morning.
That clean air makes all the difference in the world. That's why Crafton is so fast. But let's see if Peters can make something happen from that second spot. Maybe bring some of those behind him along for the ride. Right now, Matt Crafton out front. He's led them all so far.
Look at him racing 3 wide back there for about 10th.
And Brett Moffitt, we saw him racing up in the top 5, trying to grab a position. You talked about getting freight train. He went to the bottom of the track, did Moffitt, fell back to the 8th spot. Couldn't make it work.
On board with Johnny Sauter, and as you look ahead, that 13 truck right in front of him belongs to Cameron Haley. Had that disastrous day last week at Bristol, finished 24th, went from in the chase to 42 points out. He's got to make something happen today.
Tried to make the pass on Cody Coughlin in the 51, wasn't able to do it, lost 2 more positions.
Another truck that's strong in the early going, John Hunter Nemechek. He's racing there for the 7th spot. He started 16th, so a great start, Brent, by John Hunter. That's 2 black trucks to keep your eye on today. Both of those guys are fast.
The 51 of Cody Coughlin, the 21 of Johnny Sauter, the 2 yellow trucks there, and then right behind them is the 23 of Spencer Gallagher as you come up front. And Peters has gone to the lead, passing Matt Crafton.
Very, very strong Red Horse truck. Both those Red Horse trucks have been extremely strong here. Vince, let's watch and see how he did it. Just drafts up on Mike Crafton as they get down to turn number 1. Had a little bit of a push from behind from William Byron and clears Matt by the time they get to 1.
If you like old-fashioned NASCAR, that was a slingshot right there, and it was executed perfectly. Look at Peters as he closes in on Matt Crafton, ducks to the bottom, and precisely drives around.
Trying to bring 9 with, 9's with you now. 9's still behind, you're still clear.
The first lap ever led for Timothy Peters here at Michigan. He hopes to be leading the last one. And Michael, he told you when you talked to him on the radio before the race, they had a truck they believed in, and he's showing a stout machine here in the early going.
How cool is that, though, that we just talked to him and he said, we think we can win this race, and he goes out there and grabs a lead before we make 7 laps.
I really like the way, as Johnny Sutter goes all the way down to the apron just about to get by Reddick in the 29. He's got Coughlin the 51 on the outside. Now Johnny has a little help from his teammate Spencer Gallagher in the 23.
Wow, Reddick swung right up there in front of Cameron Haley. Haley had to make a move just to keep from running into the back end of Reddick. 2 wide throughout the pack there toward the back. Watch Reddick here as he's the one in the middle, gets way loose, and Moffitt has to avoid him.
What a save.
That was a long slide, too. Let's take a ride with him. It's not going to be fun right here.
Still down there, the 23 at the bumper.
You can see that truck was stable in that corner, but when that truck got right up behind another one, he got loose down his turns 1 and 2. So these trucks are going to be a handful. The more laps they put on the tires field, the harder they get to drive. And I don't see anybody breaking away. These packs are staying formed tightly.
Very reminiscent of a restrictor plate race here, and these guys can run these things out front wide open. Matt Crafton that time was 0.4 of a second faster than the pole, as well as our leader Timothy Peters in the 17.
Speeds are fast, and we've seen a little bit of 2 wide, occasional 3 wide racing when they've had to single file at the front. You see our caution clock up there in the upper left-hand portion of the screen, just about at 14 minutes and counting. When that clock goes to double zeros, we'll have a caution. It's been used 9 times this season, but the caution clock hasn't come into effect the last couple of races. But a lot of those crew chiefs down in the garage area expect it to come into play today.
Yeah, there's a lot of green flag racing here at Michigan, and that's the reason, Phil, why we see strategy come into play in this race. A lot of guys will pit at different times during the course of the race to try to get an advantage, a leg up on the competition.
Cole Custer, one of those trying to make his way into the chase, currently sits 10th, Herbie.
Good start to the race for Cole Custer. Vince started 18th, up to 10th. Once he got to the top 10, the truck developed a little bit of a tight condition, especially when he tried to go to the bottom of the racetrack. A lot of experience on the spider stand. Eddie DeHunt reminded Cole Custer, when you enter turn 3, lift a little bit early, get back to the gas sooner, try to make this long straightaway even longer, but he is edging his way towards the front.
As you see our chase standings up above, and that double zero currently on the outside of that 8 trucks that get in. In fact, he would be the first one on the outside as Matt Crafton goes for the lead again on Timothy Peters.
I'll tell you, that 88 truck is so good through the center of the corner, especially down through 3 and 4. Saw him gain on Timothy Peters a couple laps ago. That time he had enough momentum to carry that pass off.
You know, we saw that in practice yesterday. It seemed like Crafton's truck was comfortable, whether he ran high, middle, low, in the pack, at the front. And we're seeing it here in the early stages. Matt Crafton leading the way at Michigan. Matt Crafton has led 10 of the 15 laps so far as we work on 100 laps, 200 miles at Michigan in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. That's Crafton in that yellow 88. Timothy Peters in second in the red and white truck, and there's William Byron making the move for that second position on the inside with his teammate Christopher Bell right behind.
Yeah, Timothy had a bit of a moment there. I didn't know if Christopher was going to go with Timothy or William. The last second he jumped down to the bottom to help William, but Timothy's recovered now from the outside and may hold on to that spot.
Yeah, and down the straightaway, when you saw William dive to the bottom and Timothy chased him down there, that's side drafting. That's how you stall out the momentum of the lower truck, and it helps you catch up and really retake that spot. And that's exactly what Timothy Peters did.
Our leader, Matt Crafton. Are they as good as they look, Caitlin?
They certainly are, and right now, obviously leading the field, but he has not had a top 5 finish since Texas, or led laps since Texas race back in June. And I spoke with his crew chief, Junior Joyner. He said, we've had good trucks with good speed, just haven't had the finishes to show for it. But the good news, the team moved back into the main part of that Thor Sport Racing shop after a fire damaged a significant amount of it. And Junior told me we are operating at a very good level once again, building new trucks. I can feel the camaraderie and the morale really starting to rise. He continues to pace the field.
Well, they have indeed had good trucks. This one in particular is strong. It won at Charlotte, has a couple of runner-up finishes this season, but right now it's getting passed by the 9 of William Byron for the lead, and Byron's got all kind of company.
I was getting ready to say Timothy Peters, who was really vulnerable in the center of 3 and 4, and he jumped to the outside to try to make a pass. They all go by Matt Crafton. And
the lap truck now, if you've got to avoid the lap traffic, that's the 1 of Jennifer Jo Cobb. She gets out of the way on the inside and does not impede the leaders as William Byron, Timothy Peters, Christopher Bell, and now Crafton has slipped back to 4th.
These guys know there's 80 laps to go, right, Phil?
I think so.
That was an awesome move, but anything you can do like that while you're drafting and you can learn from it, you might have to use that move later to try to win this race.
How impressive are William Byron and Christopher Bell? Never have been on this racetrack before and running up there with Timothy Peters and Matt Crafton out in front of them now.
Nice to have the leadership of the boss, Kyle Busch, owner of that team. As you watch the 88 in this change of the lead, 88 with just a slight bobble shakes and just enough for William Byron to pounce.
Well, he's been running wide open, so you know he had to pedal a little bit to catch that truck, and that's all the momentum those guys behind him needed.
These 2 Kyle Busch Motorsports trucks, 1 and 2, they had strong trucks at Bristol too. Byron led. Christopher Bell led as well. Both of them experienced some problems, but still great trucks. And that's a half mile. You come here to Michigan, the big 2-mile track, and they're still strong.
As mentioned just a moment ago, both owned by Kyle Busch. Kyle won this race a year ago. His crew chief was Jerry Baxter. Jerry currently the crew chief on that 4 truck of Bell. Always nice to come to bring the winning notebook back to a track. Even if the guy who actually won the race isn't in one of your trucks, you still have that notebook.
And how about the lineage of that truck right there that William Byron is running, the 9 truck? Would you believe that truck has 9 wins in its career? It's the oldest truck they have in their inventory. It was new back in the end of 2013 season, and 9 wins for that vehicle.
Check out those 2 closing from behind, Phil. When you see the leaders running 2 and 3 wide, there's cats behind them with their foot on the floorboard. And those 2 trucks are Brett Moffitt and Ben Kennedy. And the last couple of laps, they've been way faster than our leaders. They're using that draft, and they're going to come join this 4-truck battle.
Boy, they are on the move, aren't they? You know what I like about the truck series? You look at those, the top 4. The 17 and the 88, Matt Crafton in the 88 and the 17 of Timothy Peters, a combined 23 starts here, the veterans of the series. And then those 2 guys they're chasing.
How many combined starts?
0 combined starts.
0.
The youth and the experience, one of the things that makes the truck series so enjoyable.
Look how low they have to go down.
A little bit of a wiggle by Christopher Bell, and look how much momentum it cost him.
Yeah, that's going to change the way your truck handles when you got to get way off the groove like they did, and it might cost Christopher Bell that 2nd spot.
On the left side of your screen, as they run live up to date, these are the points and where they stand. Timothy Peters and Daniel Hemrick have actually swapped positions, so Peters would be in the 7th spot, Hemrick would be in the 8th, but they would both be in. Hemrick has slipped down to 14th, but Custer, Reddick, and Haley still a long way to go points-wise. They need a win.
What a run Timothy Peters had at the end of the straightaway, able to move by the 9 of William Byron to take the lead. We're inside of 5 minutes, guys, on the caution clock.
You know, and the crew chiefs love this. Not only are these drivers racing 2 and 3 wide, battling for the lead, as you can see, here comes Moffitt and Kennedy, but those drivers are filling out what their trucks are doing. Whether they're loose, whether they're tight, they've had the lead. They've been back in traffic. They got a real good idea of what they're looking for out of their trucks. They can make adjustments, and maybe that'll make the difference and get them to victory lane.
That was a lot better corner that time for Timothy Peters down there in 3 and 4. We saw him lose a little momentum a couple times. He was good that time.
It looked like that back truck of Ben Kennedy lost his nose down in that corner. He went way high, and look at the ground it cost him. They were right on the back of our leaders, but his truck evidently did not like the way it felt in that heavy traffic.
It has been exciting at the front, in the middle, everywhere at Michigan, just as we expected. Timothy Peters is the leader. It's bad fast at Michigan. Looking at the leaders, Timothy Peters, William Byron, Christopher Bell, Matt Crafton, the top 4. Speeds topping out over 190 miles per hour on these laps, and the caution clock winding down now inside of 1 minute until we get that first caution.
How fast does your pickup truck go?
It doesn't go 191. Unbelievable speeds here by these trucks. They're 5-6 miles an hour faster on the straightaway than they were in qualifying.
On board with Crafton, that's Christopher Bell just ahead of him, the 3rd place truck. Navigating the lap traffic.
Crafton wiggled there, bobbled up the hill, so watch for a truck to come pouncing on him, and that's exactly what happened. Brett Moffitt is looking to the bottom of this yellow truck. Now he ducks back up to the top. Moffitt's got a strong truck. We talked about him at the beginning, and he's closed right in on these leaders.
Before they get back around, guys, we're going to see the caution flag out here inside of 15 seconds till that clock runs out.
Timothy Peters, when he crosses the line, if he does so with the lead, will have led the most laps, but it's been tight here through the first 30. Caution is out. It's been a battle at the front between those 4 drivers. Byron, Peters, Crafton, Christopher Bell hasn't strayed far. But the caution clock in effect for the 10th time this season.
Little strategy there. Daniel Hemrick was brought down pit road by his crew chief, Chad Kendrick. He actually beat the leader to the start-finish line, so I think he will stay on the lead lap, and we'll have track position.
He should be waved around the leaders, pull up to the back of the field, because he was at the start-finish line before the leaders. That's where the official line is if you're pitted on the turn 4 into pit road. He beat the leaders there. This is a great call by Hemrick and his team.
And it's not a competition caution, which we thought we might have, because you're not able to put fuel in prior to that. That was just a normal pit stop. He was running 16th, and Chad Kendrick's strategy is going to probably put him in the lead.
Chad Kendrick was burning that calculator up, seeing how far behind Hemrick was from our leaders. Could he get to pit road, have a pit stop, and get out and not lose a lap? That was ultimately so close, but they made it work.
And he had to do it that lap. If he would have waited one lap or one lap sooner, it wouldn't have worked. Great call by Chad Kendrick.
Those are the types of calls that you need to secure a spot in the chase, possibly. Maybe that's the difference maker in lifting your truck to victory here today. Even though it's early, those are the kind of moves that really play out. We're getting ready for pit stops. Let's check in with Hermie Sadler.
Ben Kennedy really likes his truck. As they caught the lead pack, the truck got a little bit too snug in traffic, so they'll freeze this 33 truck up just a little bit. 4 sticker tires and Sunoco fuel for Ben Kennedy as he hits his pit stall right now. Caitlin.
Well, Timothy Peters, one of the teams still in search of their first win of the year. He says he's tight on the exit of turns 2 and 4. He's going to get an air pressure adjustment, 4 tires and fuel. Taking a look at William Byron at the bottom of your screen. He said he's a tick on the edgy side. He said the front needs to be about a 1 to a 1.5 better. They're going to go ahead and take 4 tires on the 9.
Yeah, chassis adjustment on that 9 too, Caitlin, just to maybe try to get a little bit of that edginess out of it. As you see the pit stops and the times, as the teams that go over the wall will be big difference makers today as well. 4 tires for all, and Matt Crafton's crew got the job done, picking up 3 positions. It's been exciting. It's been fast, just as we anticipated at Michigan. Back at Michigan, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. After the first round of pit stops, and what a great strategic move for that 19 truck of Daniel Hemrick, was 16th. And they decided to come to pit road early, Phil, and it's a big difference maker.
Right over there, you see the pack's going to be coming off of turn 4. Very soon you see the caution flag waving. Daniel's already leaving his pit, and here comes a big pack off of turn number 4. All he has to do is get to that start-finish line, which goes all the way across the racetrack to the inside pit wall. He did that, and it's going to give him the lead.
You talked about him getting the lead. Those 2 tires that he took enabled him to stay on the lead lap. Hermie, what a great call by that crew.
It was a good call, Michael. They did come down pit road and got 2 tires. They also did some air pressure adjustments to try to free this truck up a little bit, but they're definitely rolling the dice. We'll see how these 2 tires hold up at the start of this next restart here.
Well, we talked before the race about sometimes you're going to have to roll the dice. You're going to have to take a gamble, and it's going to have to pay off for you if you're going to make the chase. Is 2 tires a gamble? Doesn't seem like the tires are making that big of a difference.
No, we only saw about a 38.75, maybe 38.70 as the fastest time anyone had run. And at the end, they were still running in the 38s, only a couple of tenths. You put right side tires on it, get that fresh air on the nose. If he can get a great restart here, that's the only challenge I see, Phil. Those left side tires might have picked up some loose rubber from the road or some debris. He might spin them. That'll be his challenge.
Christopher Bell sitting in the 3rd position. Caitlin?
And he's had a good truck all throughout the race, was pretty pleased with the handling of it. But as you can see on this right rear tire, there is some blistering happening on the outside of that tire. Crew Chief Jerry Baxter was down here talking with Goodyear representatives, as well as Crew Chief Junior Joyner from Matt Crafton, trying to understand exactly why this blistering is happening. I asked Goodyear for a comment. They were not able to give me one yet on what exactly is happening with this tire.
How about that? Let's just throw another little
kink in there.
Yeah, let's make a plan on that. But I think that'll get better.
Yeah, green racetrack probably contributed to that. I think now more rubber down, that will probably go away.
On those round of pit stops, the 23 of Spencer Gallagher was penalized, that team, for over the wall too soon. So from 10th position, that's a penalty for Gallagher. Though green is out, the restart is on. Hemrick in the blue, Crafton in the yellow.
How about the 2 guys lined up on the outside, both right now in the chase via points. Hemrick in the 19, Peters in the 17, but Crafton goes to the lead.
Christopher Bell right on his tailgate. Taking a look.
All those guys running at the front of the pack are in the chase. That's how good they are. But, man, there's still a lot of racing to go on to decide who gets the victory here.
3 wide, 4 wide, back in the pack.
Michael, you talked about how crazy these restarts were going to be. How about Timothy Peters in the middle, getting passed on both sides?
What a strong move by William Byron. He went almost off the track to take that spot.
Almost got 2 there, but couldn't get past that Brad Keselowski truck of Hemrick. Still working on it. See if he makes that pass.
Look at John West, that green 05 down to the inside to give Johnny Sauter a push in that 21 truck.
This is every bit as nutty as we thought it would be with these guys fighting for spots. 3 wide on the back straightaway. Cameron Haley.
He's going to jump down, make it 3 wide. Try to get by Ben Kennedy.
That's for 12th position. Watch Timothy Peters come to the back end here and give it a little bit of a wiggle. Whoa! Get your attention in a hurry as Byron went by on the inside and Hemrick finished it on the outside.
So that's why those guys went by him on both sides.
But he's rallied. He's got that truck headed in the right direction again. A really fast 17 truck for Timothy Peters. You can see there's Brett Moffitt coming around Cole Custer. Custer and John West Townley looking for a spot in our chase. Racing with Brett Moffitt.
These guys need to get lined up so they can chase down that lead pack right now. We have 6 trucks trying to break away.
Matt Crafton, the leader. Christopher Bell in second. Daniel Hemrick third. William Byron fourth. And Timothy Peters filling out your top 5 as you see our chase standings as they run on the top of the screen.
See now that Daniel Hemrick, by virtue of that pit strategy, back up there on top of Timothy Peters. When he was back at 16th and Timothy was racing for the lead, they flip-flopped.
Byron taking a look on Hemrick. William Byron, 18 years old in that 9 truck, just signed with Hendrick Motorsports. He'll drive the Xfinity Series car for Dale Earnhardt Jr. next season. He's a 5-time winner this season. Been the surprise of the series so far. I mean, we expected him to be successful, but winning 5 times, no one could have imagined.
I thought he would win, but I thought it might be in the second half of our preseason before we got to the chase. But how impressive has he been, and been impressive today, too.
The thing he's looking to win in the second half of the season is our championship.
Exactly.
He's established himself as the favorite, but what a strong move by Timothy Peters. Did you see that, Phil? He went around the top of Byron down in 3 and 4 when William was kind of looking to the inside of Hemrick. So that means that top lane is open. It's ready for business. Who can make a move to go up there?
How about Johnny Sauter carrying our 360 camera, trying to make it 3 wide and get by both those guys?
What a move from Sauter.
Talking to Sauter yesterday in the garage area, he said, I used to not like Michigan, and then they paved it, and I'm good here. So now I do like it a lot, and you can see that power move he made around those 2 trucks.
And he won, and that helps. That helps you like it, right? Great battle as Byron is on the inside of Peters. Liberty University sponsorship on that truck. Byron will start his freshman year on campus at Liberty U this coming week.
A couple of Toyotas lead this race. A Ford and a Chevy chase them.
He looks like an upperclassman here in this series, doesn't he?
Yeah, what have you done this summer? Well, won 5 races. And
some of those when he was still in high school, though, Vince.
Absolutely. You mentioned the Toyotas in the front, and of course this is anytime we're around Detroit, we're talking about the manufacturers, and a big event it was for Toyota back in 2004 here, won its first ever NASCAR series race with Travis Kvapil in July of 2004, and well, they have gone on to so much success since, but always a track that they will remember. Let's get more on that story that Caitlin reported on earlier with the tires of Christopher Bell.
Well, Vince, I just spoke with representatives from Goodyear, and they said all the speed that these trucks are carrying is generating heat in those tires, which is causing that minor blistering. But he said no one is losing air. It's manageable. But he said it's happening on the outside of the right rears because these trucks don't have the same camber as we see in those Cup cars. But he doesn't foresee it being a big problem for these guys here today. Hermie?
Down pit road to 33. This is the right rear tire for Ben Kennedy. We saw him make his way just outside the top 5. This is the right rear tire, similar to what we saw on Christopher Bell. The interesting note for this truck is his truck was a little bit on the tight side. They actually freed him up some more. So we'll see how this second set of tires reacts.
You know, we talked about the speeds, 190 miles an hour down into the corner. Those tires are asked to do so much. And with all that rubber washed off from the heavy rains we had earlier here today, I just really look for that wear to improve and those blisters to subside. We'll see how it develops.
And that was a great report by Caitlin, because these trucks are not able to run as much camber, which means that outside right rear tire would lean into the top. The Cup cars can run in excess of 3.5 degrees, a lot less on these trucks.
Power move by Timothy Peters. He ducks around Daniel Hemrick. And now look at William Byron. He's going to take that spot away from Hemrick.
Did you see the way he drifted right up to the door of that 19 and then gave it some space, gapped him?
Just wanted to stall that momentum just a little bit for that truck on the outside and then shoot to the inside.
Caution is out. Contact into the wall in turn 2.
Looks like Enrique Contreras in that 71 truck received some damage to the right side.
Enrique was a couple of laps down. Says something has broken probably in the right front of his truck.
And at these speeds, anytime you hit the wall, it's an attention getter. Enrique Contreras, 24 years old, from New Mexico City. Carlos Contreras often in that truck. His nephew. It's Enrique's Carlos's nephew.
Yeah, this will not get these guys in their pit window where they can make it from here. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of these guys come in and top them off, because they don't want to be caught out and have to make a pit stop under green.
And we talked, like Vincent reminded us at the top of the story, mixing it up, do something different, do something that your competitors aren't doing, especially if you're Cameron Haley running in the 12th spot, Tyler Reddick back there in 13th, Spencer Gallagher in the back half of the top 20.
Nothing to lose.
We gotta, if the leaders stay out, pit. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I know it's going to be different than what they did.
See, Daniel Hemrick was running in the 16th spot when that first competition caution came out. He got the lead, but has stayed up in the top 5. The track position has worked for them.
And about 10 green flag laps during that run since pitting, as you ride on board with our race leader, Matt Crafton.
That's relaxing. Nice to be able to get your breath. He was running really strong, but man, the traffic, the intensity these guys have to deal with is amazing.
Michael, how much do you welcome that yellow and the caution to kind of catch your breath, because it is so crazy and so intense in the draft?
You welcome it. Your crew chief says, okay, now what do I do? So there's going to be some decisions made here.
Looks like they've been made.
Haley stays out.
Hermie Sadler is down on pit road awaiting the 21 of Johnny Sauter pitting from 3rd place. Hermie?
It's going to be fuel only for the 21 of Johnny Sauter. No adjustments. They know how important track position is. Caitlin.
Well, for Matt Crafton there in the middle of your screen, he said he is free on entry, tight on exit. Again, fuel only, similar to what we saw with Johnny Sauter. Christopher Bell in the Ford truck at the bottom of your screen. He said, I fired off good, then it got free on exit, but it was coming back to me fuel only as well for the Ford truck. And 88 wins the race off pit road.
I said the 13 of Haley stayed out, but it was actually the 41 of Ben Rhodes. He was outside the top 10. Now he's going to be leading this race.
Another one of those outside the box moves. We'll see if it pays off. Hopefully no serious damage on that 9 as he hit a shock. After caution, 47 laps of 100 in the books at Michigan for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. That 41 truck of Ben Rhodes, while others came to pit road, Rhodes did not. He stayed out to gain that track position, and he'll have the lead.
Let's give a call to the 19 team of making a call that got them the track position. Now Ben Rhodes and his group have decided to do that same thing. We got to roll the dice if we want to make this chase. Rhodes had some speed back there. I was watching him run just outside the top 10. Now he has some track position. Great call, I think, but we'll see here in a minute.
Absolutely.
Hemrick certainly turned out to be a good call.
But we know these guys can't make it the rest of the way on fuel, so they're going to have at least one more pit stop, and Ben Rhodes knows that he's going to have one more pit stop.
We're under caution because of the wall contact with the 71 truck of Enrique Contreras.
Cameron Haley has made an appearance on pit road.
Now watch the 9 hit this. There's a shock on track, we believe, from the 71 truck of Contreras from that accident. And boy, something of that nature hit your front end of your truck, can do some significant damage. Let's find out what the status of that is, and will you do so with Caitlin?
Well, Vince, he hit that shock right on the right front, right above the splitter, but he told his team he didn't think it actually did any damage to the truck, so that's good news. Now, on that last stop, like many other competitors who came down pit road, they did fuel only, also did a wedge adjustment to help a too tight condition on that 9 truck.
We got a good shot of that truck from the back of it. You can't really tell from this angle, but it almost looks like part of that right front fender. You see how far that left front fender's out. The right front is out as well, and it looks like maybe that part of that fender has been in a little bit at the front leading edge of that tire.
And if he needed an adjustment for being too tight, that is liable to make that thing even tighter yet if it took some of that right front fender away, losing some downforce up there.
Even if it does, in regards to the chase, well, Byron is safe with 5 wins, but still he's looking to get race win number 6 here. Doesn't want any damage to keep him from reaching that goal. So you look at the 41 truck on the outside. That's Ben Rhodes. It'll be the control truck, and he will start on the restart with Matt Crafton on the inside. Back to green, back racing at Michigan.
Good start by the youngster from Kentucky. Jumps out on Crafton, but that inside lane looks lined up better, Phil. You can see there comes Peters to the bottom. They got some momentum down there.
And Johnny Sauter's got a little help from Brett Moffitt on the very outside. 3 wide now.
Christopher Bell getting sandwiched in the middle.
Oh, man, this is tense. Look at that pack of trucks.
3, 4, 5 wide, back through the pack. Crafton getting a push from Peters, going past Ben Rhodes for the lead.
Here comes Christopher Bell, also trying to get by the 41 of Rhodes, and they're still 3 wide behind him.
Used to be a 1-groove track. They did a lot of work to widen that groove, and man, we are seeing the fruits of the labor here today.
I think we've gone from 1 to 4.
Exactly.
Pretty significant improvement here. Look at Peters to the bottom.
Timothy Peters for the lead, passing Crafton, and Bell still lurking in 3rd with Ben Rhodes right beside him.
We know how desperate. Oh, look at the left rear tire is down for John West Townley.
Yes, sir.
Our pole winner.
Keep coming. Medium speed here.
See if he can get in without any damage being done.
If that rubber comes off, it's going to tear off that quarter panel.
And there is now a caution out for debris. John West Townley had restarted 12th. You just wonder maybe whether he got over something that wasn't picked up from that Contreras accident and cut that tire.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that means the caution clock will not be in play anymore, because we're going to restart this race somewhere with about lap 55. And then we can go about 30 laps. There's some of the rubber that's off John West's left rear tire. And we will take the caution clock out with inside of 20 laps to go. So the caution clock will not be in play anymore.
John West is going to get to pit road and looks like get that tire changed without having an issue.
There's
right
John
back in
West
there,
Yep.
you see John West Townley. He's in a 3 wide situation as they race down the front straightaway. And you can
I
see
think he feels something's going. Oh, wow, what a save he made.
That is amazing.
The fastest part of the racetrack, too.
Remember those speeds we talked about of 190 miles an hour? He's going over 180 there. Blows a left rear and somehow hangs onto that truck.
Well, Tommy Joe Martin's very fortunate. That 44 truck, he got by just as that left front turned left on the 05 of John West Townley.
He did a couple of things right, Phil. You saw John West kind of go up to the top when he felt something wrong with that truck, and then he saved it at 185 miles an hour.
Trouble for our pole sitter. He needs to win to make the chase. Takes a setback here. College football is back on FS1. It all kicks off with a special Friday night edition when Heisman hopeful Christian McCaffrey leads 8th-ranked Stanford against K-State. All begins Friday night at 8 Eastern on FS1. Well, Christian McCaffrey, what a terrific player. Exciting to watch. College football season is upon us.
Just about here, isn't it?
Looking forward to it. How about this great crowd here at Michigan this weekend? Roger Curtis and his gang here at MIS do a tremendous job in promoting the race. Always feels so welcome here. A nice vibe around the facility.
And that infield is darn full too right now. A bunch of campers. What a great. Why don't we have a sponsor, maybe Camping World or something like that?
You got all the great ideas.
Yeah. What do we talk to one of those guys down there on the track and see what he thinks so far? We talked to Timothy Peters before the race. He said he had a fast Toyota. Timothy, he told us before the race that Toyota was fast. Man, it's been impressive today. How's it handling?
It's all about getting you a good start, but I agree with you.
That didn't work.
Be one to go when you get here.
Let me hit him right quick. Timothy, you've been impressive today. You're taking the outside. How's that truck handling? It's been fun to watch.
That truck's pretty good. Our Red Horse Tundra's been on point all day. Just a testament to the guys, Shane and all the guys on the crew, pit road guys, how hard they worked yesterday. We unloaded. Our travels were just a little bit off, but you know, Mikey quit isn't in our vocabulary, so hopefully we can finish this off. But you know, our Tundra's looking good right now with that triad horsepower underneath it.
All right, bud, hang in there.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. And we've seen some different trucks come to pit road during this yellow here just to top off, and some got tires like the 9 of William Byron took 4 tires as well. Let's check in on Byron. Caitlin?
Well, Rudy Fugel asked William Byron, do you think you can make up 10 spots? He said, I think I can. So they elected to have him come down pit road. They pulled out the fenders, worked on the nose a little bit, did 4 tires and fuel for the 9 truck. Hermie.
Some strategy at this end of pit road as well for the BKR trucks. First of all, the 19 of Daniel Hemrick just left pit road, 4 tires, topped him off with fuel. They plan to try to make it to the end, as does the 29 of Tyler Reddick. They also came down twice under caution and topped that truck off with fuel.
So Byron, Hemrick, Rico Abreu came to pit road as well. The 0-2 of Tyler Young.
Going to be 46 laps. These guys are going to have to really save some fuel.
Well, that's a long way. We've seen fuel be a difference maker in various races here.
We also said at the top, you better do something different. Yep. And we're seeing that by many of our top runners taking chances.
How about Matt Crafton on the inside? He has taken the lead from the inside all 3 restarts we've had.
See if he can do it again. The green's waving at Michigan.
Nice push by the 41 truck of Ben Rhodes on Crafton. He's going to shove out ahead again. Can Peters rally on the top?
As much as Crafton obviously is strong and has taken the lead 3 times, as you mentioned, he's gotten some good help all 4 times as well.
Yes, he has. Now he's able to jump up in front of Timothy Peters. Now Timothy's going to jump to the inside with a lot of momentum.
For the lead, Timothy Peters, and Christopher Bell is going with him. Crafton from 1st to 3rd, just like that.
How cool is that? We were just talking to that cat, and he drove down there the back straightaway and dove, took a slingshot move and took the lead.
Ben Rhodes doing some work inside, trying to get a couple at a time. Spencer Gallagher back and forth with his eye on a position as well.
There's Cole Custer just on the outside of the cut bubble right now. He looks pretty good running in about the 6th spot.
Yeah, Custer around the top side of Johnny Sauter. That's Cameron Haley in that first bright orange truck. Spencer Gallagher, Phil, he's been impressive early in the going.
Christopher Bell in that 10 truck. Really consistent over the course of the last couple of months. Top 10s in 9 of the last 10 races, including a win at Gateway. And right now, he's on the back bumper of the 17 of Timothy Peters, thinking about the lead.
I'm liking what I'm seeing on this top groove. You saw that move right there around the top side. Spencer Gallagher put on Moffitt. I know these Cup guys are going to be racing here tomorrow are watching that as well. This groove is opening up. Maybe there's some momentum around the top if you can get up there, and that's what Gallagher did.
You know, we've had some strong trucks, but these 3 up front right now, the 17, the 4, and the 88, have been up front this entire race.
And you remember the number 9, he went to the back with a pit stop to fix some damage he had from hitting that shock absorber. He's another one of those trucks that have been up front all day long. He finds himself back in the 17th spot right now trying to race forward.
The 11 of Brett Moffitt. Boy, what a great couple of weeks he's had in that 11 truck. And there's the 9 of Byron, as mentioned, a little further back in that pack, trying to make up positions. He's right behind Ben Kennedy, who won last week's race at Bristol. There's the 23 of Gallagher joining the leaders and bringing Moffitt with him.
Remember, Gallagher had a pit road penalty on lap 32. His team went over the wall too soon, and he's driven through the pack up into the top 5.
And caught this lead 3 right here. And watch to the outside of Matt Crafton.
Wow. Look at Spencer Gallagher going for 3rd and getting it from Crafton on the outside.
Was talking to the GMS guys down in the garage area yesterday, congratulating him on Ben Kennedy making the chase. He said, we have to get Spencer in the chase now.
Gallagher on the charge, looking on the outside of Christopher Bell.
I can promise you one thing. Gallagher won't surprise anyone else with that outside move. Those spotters are all over the radio, radioing down to their drivers saying, you've got to watch the 23 on the high side. He's making it work. Maybe we should go up there and try the high side.
Now Gallagher drives to the bottom and gets by Christopher Bell. High and low, Spencer Gallagher making it work.
Michael, how did that work? They're just going to say, watch the 23. I don't know where he's going, but he's going there in a hurry.
They must have been watching the high side when he went to the bottom, right?
Exactly.
And now Gallagher thinking about the lead on the tailgate of the 17 of Peters. GMS racing with the win in the season opener with Johnny Sauter, won at Eldora with Kyle Larson, won last week with Ben Kennedy, and now Spencer Gallagher running 2nd in the 23 truck.
He has a 2nd place finish in the series last year at Gateway, so he's no stranger to running up front, but this has been impressive to watch him march through the field here at the high-speed Michigan track.
Matt Crafton looks like he lost the front end for a moment, lost a couple positions, a lot of momentum.
Custer and Sauter both past Crafton now, as Matt Crafton has slipped back to 7th. Here it is, Phil. Big wiggle with that 88.
Yeah, goes up the hill, has to get out of the throttle for a moment. Look how much momentum he lost. 2 trucks drive right by him.
Good look at that 21 of Johnny Sauter, the winner here a couple of years ago. Gallagher for the lead. Spencer Gallagher on the inside of Timothy Peters.
He's not going to get the lead. I don't think he's going to keep 2nd either. These guys are going to freight train past Gallagher.
He might not keep 3rd.
Well, if you go for it and don't make it, it's costly.
What is that reminiscent of? Daytona, Talladega.
What kind of battle we got to how do you call a winner in the truck series? Where do you pick a favorite from? Well, right now, 4 of the top 5 haven't won this year. So you better watch everybody.
Now that 11 truck of Brett Moffitt, he's not chase eligible, but 3rd at Pocono, 2nd at Bristol. Would make him feel pretty good to put one in victory lane today, wouldn't it?
That's what he's thinking right now. That's the only thing on his mind is getting that 11 truck to victory lane.
And if you're Timothy Peters, this outside, oh, caution.
John Hunter Nemechek in the 8 truck bringing out the caution. Heavy damage.
Clear down, come fair road, clear down.
That truck is used up.
Hurt this time.
Nemechek.
Go to the garage, the right front is killed. Blue right rear getting into 3.
You heard Nemechek's description.
We saw some blistering earlier on that right rear tire.
And a lot of our lead trucks, Phil, haven't had tires lately.
Remember, Nemechek won earlier this season at Atlanta. So this is not a major impact in relation to his chase chances. He's good to go for the playoffs, but certainly damage.
A major impact, though.
Major damage to that truck, and I don't believe Nemechek's done for the day.
This is the opportunity for those guys up front to get to pit road, make sure they get enough fuel to get to the end. Now does Byron and Reddick and Hemrick, do they stay out because they stopped on lap 53 and 54?
Every lap they run under caution, you pretty much get an extra lap on your
Even
fuel
more
load.
so, they're saying now, because they run so much of that lap with the engine shut off.
And after we heard about some tire problems earlier and John Hunter blowing the right rear, do these leaders that put tires on to make sure they're safe?
At least maybe right side tires anyway.
Spencer Gallagher sure has been exciting so far today. He is in his box, and Hermie's there.
He's got a fast truck. He's fast with speed on the top line. It's going to be 2 right side tires only. Trouble getting the right front off of that truck. It's going to be a slow stop, but only 2 right sides for the 23. Caitlin.
Well, Timothy Peters in the middle of your screen. I just spoke to his crew chief, Shane Huffman. He's really happy with the truck. Just a little bit tight, right sides only. The 4 truck of Christopher Bell, I'm a touch on the free side, 2 tires and fuel for the 4 truck as well.
Plenty of action on pit road, and boy, a slow stop can make a difference. Hurt your chances, hurt your track position. Maybe you get back in the pack like John Hunter Nemechek did and watch the contact here with the 41. Does that have anything to do with it? Probably not, but it didn't end well for the 8. Under caution again here at Michigan after an incident involving the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek. Said he cut a right rear, and we saw some major damage to his truck. Now the 23 of Spencer Gallagher comes to pit road from 3rd place, but watch the right front. Had a tough time getting it off, and it was costly.
Yeah, the sway bar wouldn't let that tire drop out, as well as the shock. Finally, the shock will let that tire drop out. It's going to cost him a few spots. He's going to line up 12th here for this restart.
Yeah, can you imagine just a couple of seconds delay and 9 trucks got ahead of him that he was ahead of before that stop. And we watched Spencer use that outside line and charge from the back of the pack up to the front. See if he can do it again. Time's ticking and running out. Those positions get harder and harder to get as we get closer to the end.
Now 3 trucks stayed out, including the 00 of Cole Custer. I mean, if he's going to stay till the finish, I mean, he's stretching that fuel. Can he stretch it, what, 54 laps?
Well, we've had 10 laps of caution since he last pitted. Again, you know, the guys on the crew chief are telling me, Hermie, that the caution laps really don't even hardly use any fuel anymore.
Certainly it's a gamble, but that's what the 00 team has to do at this point. Crew Chief Marcus Richmond just told me they were 3 laps short prior to this caution. So certainly it's going to be close, but it's worth taking the gamble for the 00.
You know what I love? I got my calculator out, and I couldn't get anywhere near getting that to add up. Marcus, they've not got it figured out, but he's going to make it. Amazing.
Maybe it's a special calculator. It's been exciting here at Michigan, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. With 33 laps to go, coming to 32 to go on this restart, with Cole Custer on the outside and Tyler Reddick inside.
Look at that push from William Byron on the outside, pushing Cole Custer.
Custer to the front. Byron and Reddick side by side for second.
Christopher Bell making it 3 or 4 wide off of 2.
So close. Some contact there between Bell and the 29 of Reddick.
Look at that strong truck of Timothy Peters marching along alone on the bottom, making up ground.
Well, look at Ryan Truex get loose.
Truex and Abreu side by side rubbing doors.
The 81 truck, we haven't seen much of him today, but he was up in the top 10 for this restart.
Oh, contact.
Sauter and Reddick.
Still rolling. Green still out.
Reddick will blow a tire. That's a lot of damage.
Meanwhile, at the front, it's William Byron who's gotten past Cole Custer, and Moffitt trying to get second, but Custer fighting him off. Christopher Bell still riding third. Well, Bell had some contact with that 29 also. There could have been a half a dozen different accidents in that mix as Custer dives back for the lead.
Slingshot by Cole Custer to get by William Byron.
And there's the 29, Michael, just as you indicated. The tire after that contact.
Last one, clear low, come on.
That's just a case,
This time, 4 tires still.
Vince, of just trying to squeeze back in line. They know how important it is to not lose that track position, as we talked about as the laps wind down. We've got to try to stay in line. I don't think the hole was there. Reddick tried to get in.
That's only first.
And you see the damage on the 29 as he comes in, so they'll assess and they'll replace the 4 tires for sure. But watch the 29 there on the left-hand side of your screen.
Going to try to get in behind his teammate. He and Johnny Sauter make contact. A lot of damage, and that pretty much ends his hopes of pointing his way into this chase. Tyler Reddick will have to win one of these next 2 races because he will not be in contention to win this one.
It looked like he needed an inch, 1 inch, and he could have cleared Johnny Sauter and made that move. But these racers, they know the race is winding down. Sauter, see what Sauter does here.
I think Johnny tried to back off, but it was too late. By the time the 29 jumped in line, they made that contact.
Keep coming there, buddy, keep coming.
Just as Michael said, it's probably going to cut a right front tire down. I think he realized that tire was losing air, that that minimize the contact with the outside wall. But nonetheless, tough break, Hermie.
Yeah, these guys really needed a win, obviously, but more than anything else, some positive momentum for this race team, but a lot of damage to the right side, especially the right front. So they got the right sides on. He's pulled some of the fenders out, but he's still smoking as he's going down pit road. He'll come back down pit road at least a couple more times. You can see still a lot of contact on that right front.
Well, it's been disastrous for Reddick the last couple of races. He was 26th at Pocono, was 14th last week at Bristol, but consider over the last 2 races, Reddick has gone from 18 points to the good to 32 points out of the chase coming into this race, and then this happens today.
Yeah, he's already cut down that right front tire again.
They'll have to go to the garage. That's damage. You know, we talk about the speeds here, 180 miles an hour, and he turned directly into that outside wall.
Well, look at those chase standings now, and remember, Cole Custer is leading the race currently, and look at where Tyler Reddick has slipped back to, and that's as we run now, 62 points out, and that's just going to keep getting wider and wider as each lap passes.
Yeah, but he was in that group, Phil. I think those guys knew they had to win. I mean, they're not worried about points. He's got 2 more chances to do just that.
You might be hoping that the points work out your way, but Custer on the outside, William Byron on the inside, restarting at Michigan.
Byron has a teammate pushing Christopher Bell. The 4-truck lined up with William.
And Brett Moffitt doesn't care if he's a teammate or not. If he can help push push Custer to the front and Moffitt pick up position, he's going to push him.
Byron on the inside. Can he get that spot away from Cole Custer?
Up Timothy Peters say, I might take all these spots.
3 wide, down to the bottom. Custer strong on the outside. Peters has to get out of it. It's going to lose a couple of spots.
I think Timothy got a little loose. How about on the inside, that white and yellow truck? Grant Infinger making his presence known here.
Byron and Custer still battling side by side for the lead.
Brett Moffitt now on the inside, maybe going for the lead.
There's Spencer Gallagher back after that pit road issue.
So much for a 1-group racetrack, huh?
Oh, wow, that's so scary to watch these guys. They're just all over each other.
Christopher Bell dives to the bottom, looking for the lead for the first time today.
He's around.
Oh, Christopher Bell around, and he takes Spencer Gallagher. A big hit for Bell and Gallagher, both 2 very fast trucks, and they are done.
We've been waiting for that all day, Phil. We talk about how the truck on the inside is loose. They can barely hang on to them. That was an example of that, and Bell just didn't get all the way down to the white line, too close to the truck on the outside, and around he went.
Good to see that window net down for the 4-truck of Bell.
Really tough break for Spencer Gallagher, too. There's Jerry Baxter, Christopher Bell's crew chief. Knows that the day is over. Had a great truck here, though.
Jerry Baxter and his team put a great truck under Christopher Bell in contention to win this race. Remember at Bristol just 10 days ago, the same thing basically happened. He got loose on the inside, racing for the lead there as well, and spun around.
And there's
Spencer,
Gallagher.
good to see him out
of the truck. That was a big hit for both Gallagher and Bell. Glad to see them both out under their own power.
The trucks went spinning out of control at upwards of 180 miles an hour and into the outside wall, and those guys are able to walk away. That's a testament to the safety that NASCAR has built into these trucks and these tracks.
We see him running in excess of 190 on the straights, but they don't get down below 180 in the corners. Amazing speeds by these guys.
Like Spencer Gallagher maybe was running, hoping to have a word with Christopher Bell, but Bell has been put in the ambulance, and we'll see if Bell and Gallagher have to take that ride together.
I've done that before.
How's that work out usually?
Yeah, not too good.
Is that an awkward feeling when you've wrecked with somebody and you both are in the same ambulance?
It's generally a difference of opinion as well. That wasn't my fault, it was your fault.
Well, I mean, there was certainly a situation there where Christopher Bell just got loose, and unfortunately Spencer Gallagher was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, loading them up.
That's where you'd like to have the ambulance cam.
Check this out. Bell dives to the inside of the 00 truck. Great momentum, great move, but he just doesn't get all the way down to the yellow line right there, and he bobbled, and around it goes. Happened that quick.
Boy, and Spencer Gallagher had nowhere to go. Certainly not Gallagher's fault in that situation, just a victim of circumstance.
But a great save by Cole Custer, too, as Bell gets loose and moves him way up the hill, gives him extra room, and saves his truck.
And it's another yellow, another caution, another fuel-saving opportunity for Cole Custer. Remember, we talked about he had to go 54 laps on this tank of fuel, and we've had 2 cautions since then.
And 16 plus laps of caution laps for the 00.
Look at this tremendous impact, both into the Gallagher truck and then the outside wall. I mean, it's amazing the way that truck is destroyed. Those guys were able just to walk away.
In Spencer Gallagher's case, he ran away from his truck.
Look at that.
Fortunately, that didn't take more than the 2 trucks. Could have been more collected in that one.
Matt Crafton's running back in the pack. Let's see what he sees when this breaks out. Oh, wow.
Here, stay straight. You come back down. Get low. You're clear. Good job.
He had the 81 of Ryan Truex below him, so he couldn't turn left to avoid that. He had to just gas it up and hope he got by before they came back down.
He wanted them to stay up there in that outside wall.
Boy, it's been a tough campaign for this Ford truck of Christopher Bell and this team, and you look at some of the incidents that they've had, some of the mishaps.
And some of the situations, he's got great finishes out of it, even though he had some trouble, but it's not going to be today, unfortunately.
That's 2 races in a row. 3 actually, but 2 races in a row when he was racing for the lead and crashed his truck.
They recovered last week at Bristol to finish 7th, but considerable amount of damage to that truck here.
Well, their crews have had to fix a lot of damage this season. We've seen a lot of it, not just for that team, but many others. Under caution at Michigan with 23 laps to go. Cole Custer will be your leader when we come back for the restart. For those of you expecting UFC Fight Night pre-fight, you can see that right now on FS Go, and it'll be on FS2 immediately following our coverage here from Michigan of the Camping World Truck Series.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
Under caution at Michigan, it has been exciting. We've seen them 3 wide, 4 wide, 5 wide at a time or 2, making us all nervous. Can't imagine what it feels like behind the wheel. But right now, the cleanup is underway.
We've seen speeds over 190 miles an hour, big crashes, lots of action. Strategy has played into this race as well with Cole Custer.
And continues to play into it.
Yeah, with Cole Custer just trying to stretch that fuel mileage way further than anyone thought possible. But these caution laps are certainly playing into his hands. He and that team have put themselves in a position here to possibly make it due to all the crashes lately.
Well, we saw an incident involving the 29 of Tyler Reddick out of the Brad Keselowski camp, and Daniel Hemrick out of that Ford camp running 5th as we take a look at our Ford facts. And the 29 is back on the lead lap actually after getting that free pass. See the success here at Michigan for those guys in Fords.
Yeah, Biffle a couple times there, 99 and 2000, and Colin Brown won the last time here back in 2009. Eric Darnell with a big win in 2008.
Your brother, Hall of Famer Benny Parsons, he said, I like the way that Biffle kid races a car out on the West Coast.
Jack Roush, you should take a look at him.
Yeah, maybe give him a chance. And Biffle stormed onto the scene, winning truck races, Xfinity races, and now Cup races. Good call by BP and great job by Jack Roush to get him on board.
Timothy Peters has led the most laps today, currently sits 2nd. Caitlin?
It certainly has been a very strong race for the 17 truck. Shane Huffman, Timothy Peters, crew chief with me now. How is the truck and how critical will this restart be?
Well, the Red Horse Tundra's obviously pretty good. We've been able to come from, second, third, fourth, fifth, wherever, back to the lead all day. So this restart, as every restart here with the truck series, is really important. We need to establish the lead back and try to control the race from our end and try to finish one out here.
Thank you, Shane.
Well, it's interesting. Timothy Peters and Shane Huffman trying to make it count, in on points, but you can't take that for granted. Get it to victory lane and secure your spot. Of course, we're under yellow right now because of the 4 of Christopher Bell, who spun trying to pass for the lead, ended up collecting Spencer Gallagher in the process, which started out rough for Christopher Bell at Daytona in the season opener.
Yeah, great run running in the top 5 right there at Daytona. Last lap gets turned around and upside down and tumbles down the racetrack.
What a wild ride that was for Bell. And then the next race at Atlanta, got into the back of his own teammate there, Suarez, the 51, and then later cut down a tire after that incident twice.
Yeah, that truck just pushed there. He slid up into another truck here. Reminiscent of what happened just a few minutes ago here in Michigan. He spins around, getting loose on the inside of another truck.
Then in Texas, missed a shift on the opening start.
Yeah, went from second to first gear instead of second to third gear, and this is last week, about 3/4 of the way through the race, Michael.
Yeah, just gets loose on the bottom again, spins around, takes away the chance for those guys to win the race. But remember, he's got that all-important victory. He almost won again at Eldora. The kid's got a lot of talent. He's got a couple of races before the chase to make sure that he proves to his team that he knows exactly how to keep that thing heading in the right direction in any circumstance. 21 years old, a really fast truck. The learning curve sometimes is tough, but you can see the result of a truck on the inside at 180 miles an hour just getting loose.
And I've really been surprised that we haven't seen that more, as much side-by-side racing that we've had here today, and three-wide, 4-wide racing. But unfortunately for Christopher Bell, it bit him right there.
Well, and Bell, sure, unfortunate, really unfortunate for Spencer Gallagher. Just wrong place at the wrong time, had nowhere to go. And Gallagher had been challenging for the lead just a few moments ago. So Gallagher's truck was really fast, too. And he was another driver that needed a win to get in. So his hopes dashed here as well.
And you got Cole Custer did not pinch down the 4 truck of Christopher Bell. Cole Custer just ran in there and Christopher got loose. So sometimes, you have to share the blame if you're on the outside and you're Custer and you cut down a little bit on the guy, because it'll turn a truck around in a hurry. There was space there, just got a little bit loose on the bottom and wound up spinning around.
And Cole did a great job once he realized that the 4 truck was turning around, to give him some extra room and not get caught up in it.
Matt Crafton, you see, back in the pack a little bit, but Crafton has led 23 laps, was really strong early on. Here's how that chase looks as they run currently. Cole Custer, being the leader, would be up into that 7th spot, and Daniel Hemrick on points. But Hemrick and Peters, well, that's all of a sudden starts making people nervous.
And that's what we talked about the very top of the show. We had a 39-point and a 29-point cushion between Hemrick and Peters above the cut line. If Cole Custer goes on to win this race, that's how that thing can change so dramatically here.
I said earlier, Timothy Peters, I'm nervous. I'm Hemrick. I'm feeling pretty good about today, but just today, because we can go next week to Canada and have another first-time winner, and all of a sudden, Hemrick can be on the outside looking in.
Hermie?
Christopher Bell out of the Care Center. Glad to see you're all right, passing for the lead. What happened?
Yeah, just kind of frustrated with myself there. We still had a lot of race left to go, but I had a really good JBL Tundra. I feel bad for my guys because they worked so hard, and I felt like I drove a really smart race there, just kind of buying my time the entire race, and maybe it was a little bit too early to go for it, but I had the opportunity and I was going to take it.
That's Christopher Bell out of the Care Center, but also out of the race.
Jerry Baxter, Kyle Busch, that whole team can be a lot of help for this young man. Obviously overloaded with talent, can wheel a truck anywhere we go. He just is going to be a little bit down after this mistake. They can build him right back up. He can go to Canada and win, go to Chicago and win, and get some momentum heading for our chase. He's got that much ability.
Yeah, it's sometimes we forget about the confidence in a driver and the difference that makes, especially a young one. Exactly. 21 years old. Getting ready for the restart at the line, 17 to go. Cole Custer on the outside, Timothy Peters inside.
Look at the push by Brett Moffitt. He's on the back of Custer.
Johnny Sauter jumps on the line way back about 12th or 14th.
Well, look at William Byron giving Tim Peters the push, and then Byron looked underneath thinking about, maybe I'll go for the lead. Gets Peters loose a little bit on that contact, and hard into the wall is Cole Custer.
Same situation. He got loose underneath Brett Moffitt.
Wow.
You got fire coming out the back here.
That was a big hit.
See the winner net down.
And the fire's out.
As the laps wind down, you just start to take more chances and getting more binds. That was a great move by Brett Moffitt. He pushed Custer down in the corner, and then he wheeled up into that high lane that we see having so much grip and guys getting so much momentum up there. He drove around the outside of Custer. That got Custer loose.
Boy, glad to see that window net down and Custer hop out of this truck because he hit a ton.
Yeah, a lot of laps on his tires. We've documented the fact that he pitted, way back.
Our 7th caution of the afternoon. Watch this 00 get underneath the 11 and just gets loose.
Yeah, the 11's just going by him, and it looks like the 00's kind of chasing his truck up the racetrack a little bit. He gets so close to the 11, and they make a little bit of contact, and man, hard into the safer barrier for Cole Custer.
Well, thank goodness for the safer barrier. Watch the angle. Bam. And again, it's amazing that more trucks didn't get caught up in that. Watch it from the 88 this time of Matt Crafton on board.
You can see Moffitt around the top.
Over there, up there in the middle. Trying to come backwards. Watch Ranger. Just stay straight, stay straight. Watch your inside, watch your inside, watch your inside.
I bet you Crafton said, quit watching stuff from my truck.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is getting a little bit.
And I think it was a situation where Cole couldn't get away from the 11. I don't think he felt like he could turn the wheel to turn away from the 11 because he was loose to start with. And then around it went, and when it went fast.
Cameron Haley had to check up there too, and when he did, he almost accordioned all those trucks behind him, and that could have been a multi-truck accident. Bad enough for Cole Custer, but it could have been much more damage in the field.
Jordan Anderson did an amazing job. He had to turn his truck hard left, got completely sideways, and saved it.
Jordan stayed on the lead lap. He's in the top 15, but that truck looked like it was in jeopardy of going around off turn 2 over there.
Another opportunity gone for Cole Custer to win a race and secure a spot in the chase. Hermie?
Spencer Gallagher also out of the care center. What'd you see out there, and are you all right?
Oh, I'm fine. I just saw Chris start turning. Big old cloud of smoke, tried to get as far up and away from him as I possibly could, and just drilled him, and that just it shook me. Apologies to the safety crew that I got out and running, but for my own sanity's sake, I needed to know he was okay. I was afraid for the life of a fellow competitor right there. I thought I hit him pretty good, so I was worried about that, and I can't tell you the relief I felt when I saw he was okay. Yeah, you see, trying to get up and away from him, and up he came. Thank goodness that NASCAR makes these vehicles so incredibly safe that he can walk away from something like that. You can't say enough about it.
Nothing to add to that interview, Vince. Puts things into perspective.
We're glad he walked away, too.
Absolutely, because it was a big hit taken by the 23 and Spencer as well.
Absolutely nothing Spencer Gallagher could have done differently. You're running so fast. He was up on the outside and committed there.
Really, they talk about the safety of the vehicles and the safer barrier there as well, and comes into account on this hit as well, the speed and the violence of which Cole Custer and that 00 truck hit that wall.
Such a bad angle there. That was about a 45-degree angle. That was reminiscent of blowing a right front tire and hitting the wall. But what a hard hit.
On board with Tyler Reddick, as you see Custer, that's after the contact and the hit already. Reddick's had some contact of his own today, and he was right there in the mix of that.
Yeah, watch Jordan Anderson, too. There's the initial contact with the safer barrier. How much give in that safer barrier, and that's why these guys are able to walk away from these hard hits. Jordan Anderson's going to come along and turn hard left to avoid it. May not be able to see it from that angle.
Boy, just the way that wall flexes and gives, so the energy, the impact is absorbed by that wall instead of the vehicle.
The day is done for Cole Custer, who had hopes of winning this race today and securing a spot in the chase. Unfortunately, it won't happen for Custer today. The finish coming your way from Michigan. Just a reminder that for those of you expecting UFC Fight Night pre-fight, well, you can see that right now on FS Go, and it will be on FS2 immediately following our coverage of the Camping World Truck Series here from Michigan. We are under caution for the 7th time today.
Coming to 12 to go, so the action will be intense.
It hasn't been already more intense than it's already been. I mean, it has been crazy today. And, you know, we talked about it yesterday in practice when we saw him going 3 wide in practice. We said, man, if this is what's happening in practice, what's going to happen tomorrow in the race? Well, we're seeing it today. It's been crazy.
I really thought we'd have 2 cautions this race, 2 caution clocks, and I thought that would be it. We have a tendency to have a lot of green flag running here at this racetrack, and, you know, our the last 5 runs, our average amount of laps we've run before the caution has been 3.
Glad to have you with us today. Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I'm Vince Welch. We've got Caitlin Vincey and Hermie Sadler downstairs. It's race 14 of 23, but after today, only 2 races left before the chase begins. So everyone trying to jostle for those last 2 available spots. A win gets you in. Maybe you can point your way in, but you certainly can't count on it. And we've seen some crazy swings over the course of the last couple of races from a points perspective.
We have a couple of our guys that were in the top 8 because of points. Timothy Peters leading right now. Daniel Hemrick running 4th. So there's no secret as to why those guys have been up there in the points. Is because they're very good here. Can one of them go to victory lane and lock themselves in?
Or does Brett Moffitt take the victory here at Michigan and take one of those possibilities of a win and locking yourself in the chase away from another competitor? That 11 truck sitting there in the 3rd spot, he's been as good as our 2 leaders, and those 3 trucks have been the strongest trucks today.
Credit Scott Zipadelli, the crew chief on this 11. He was 4th place finish with Jake Griffin at Eldora. Then the next race, a 3rd place finish with Brett Moffitt. Then the next race, a 2nd place finish with Moffitt. So if they've gone 4-3-2.
There's only 1 left.
Yeah, what number would that be?
That would be 1.
Thanks for the math. Caitlin.
Well, I'm with William Byron's crew chief, Rudy Fugel, currently P2 there. How's the truck, and how do you help keep your rookie calm on these restarts?
Yeah, the Liberty University Tundra has been good all day long. We just kind of got off sequence there trying to get some track position. I think we got it. We'll see. It's been pretty exciting. It's all about who gets the right push, and then if we can make it through the corner, and hopefully we can get out and run in a little bit, and we get like 3 or 4 trucks out front, and we can see who actually has the best truck. And if not, it'll be exciting either way.
Good luck to you. Thanks.
We've had some exciting moments today, that's for sure, and William Byron has had his share of near misses. There's John Hunter Nemechek hard into the wall. Tyler Reddick, after cutting down a tire, got in. Then Christopher Bell spun and took out Spencer Gallagher in the process. Big hits for both.
And then here comes another huge hit. Cole Custer into the outside wall. Great driving by the other competitors to slip by. Look at Jordan Anderson all the way out of shape coming off the turn there. He's able to drive away. Look at the impact on that truck. That left front tire, that truck weighs 3,000 some pounds, and it was up off the ground a couple of feet.
So fortunate that despite the significant hits we've seen today, all drivers have been fine, walked away. Now Timothy Peters and William Byron, Brett Moffitt, those guys at the front, Daniel Hemrick, Cameron Haley, all in the top 5, hoping to avoid any more of those situations and take it to the house.
Just keep in mind that line that Moffitt found. It's the same one that Spencer Gallagher used to pass around other drivers, and we saw Moffitt do it on that start there. He's going to be starting on the inside, so I don't think he can get there on the initial start, but that outside groove is open for business. I think there's some speed up there. If you're Timothy Peters, you can't just guard the bottom. You got to guard both lanes.
And you mentioned it before, all those spotters up there on the roof are also aware of that too. So they're telling Daniel Hemrick right now, who's in the 4th spot, will restart on the outside. Don't forget about that outside groove. There may be some speed there.
4 of the top 5 seeking their first win of the season, including Red Horse drivers Timothy Peters and Brett Moffitt. Caitlin.
Well, you're certainly right, Vince. It's a big day for both of these Red Horse Racing drivers. Equally important race for both of them, as you mentioned. Timothy Peters looking for his first win of the year, trying to solidify his place in the chase. His teammate, Brett Moffitt, in that 11 truck. He's had some very close calls to getting a win. Bristol just last week. 2 consecutive top 5 efforts. He told me earlier in the weekend that this is a big opportunity for him, racing with Red Horse in race-winning equipment. And he says, it allows me to show everyone what I can do exactly in these trucks.
And no better way to show you belong and you deserve it than to win.
Let's check in with one of our top 5 runners, a guy that's looking for that first win, the 19 truck of Daniel Hemrick. Hey, Daniel, it's the FS1 gang. Got a second to talk, bud?
Sorry, I think Mike got over there, Phil. What'd you say?
I said hi, it's Mike. We're in the FS1 booth up here. Just wanting to check in. How frustrating are all these caution laps late in the going? You got a truck you can win with. I know you want to get going.
Yeah, I'm more so hated for these fans there, having the ride around under caution this man laps, but I probably should do enjoy the show once we get back going. We just haven't quite had the raw speed we need to have our draw type 4 F-150 here all day, Michael, but it's not over till it's over. A lot of exciting stuff's already happened, so we'll keep fighting here. Don't give up on these guys.
That was an amazing call by your crew chief earlier to get that pit stop made before the caution clock went off. That sort of set the stage of guys gambling all day long. Great job by the team.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's something we were able to practice there earlier yesterday. So just proud of those guys for the thought process, where we're at here, and up to me now. Let's make the most of it.
All right, bud. Have fun here these last few laps.
Yeah, I'll definitely be that. Thank you.
That's what these guys are. I mean, to me, it's as nervous and as frustrating as it can be waiting to go, because you know you've got a chance to go win one of these races, and that's where Daniel's at.
It's frustrating, it's nervous, but this is what he's lived for. This is what his whole life revolves around right here.
Well, we're under caution because of that big hit from the 00 of Cole Custer. He's with Hermie.
Yeah, Vince, big hit for the 00. Cole, first, are you okay? And what happened out there?
Yeah, I'm fine. I've never taken that big of a hit before, but was definitely, I can't thank everybody enough safety-wise. I was not hurt at all. So, we didn't have the raw speed that those guys had up front, but it drove pretty well, so it was hard to keep them off of me. But yeah, the 11 stopped pushing me, which it's his right to do that. You know, we were kind of losing the 17 there, but he went to the outside, and then I started getting tight, and then once he got on my door, I just got loose and overcorrected it. So just hate it for my guys who brought a great truck, and just probably going to throw that one away. But I was happy that we were able to run up front this weekend. Definitely our mile-and-a-half stuff's been getting better, so we're going in the right direction.
That's Cole Custer. He'll need to win one of the next 2 races to qualify for the chase.
How professional are these young men? I mean, he makes a mistake and just says, I've got to get better. We heard the same thing out of Christopher Bell. The passion and the heart that Spencer Gallagher showed for his fellow competitor. I mean, this is a great group of young racers, and I'm so proud we get to watch them and talk about them.
Yeah, you keep an eye on that 00 Cole Custer next week on the road course. Very, very good there.
Yeah, Custer just 18 years old. Speaking of 18 years old, that driver on the outside in that 9 truck, William Byron, also 18. But Timothy Peters on the inside, the control truck, as we go back to racing with 8 laps to go at Michigan.
Look at Moffitt. Man, he's a good pusher. He's got his bumper all over the tailgate of the 17, but strong on the outside is William Byron and Hemrick.
The 2 teammates, 11 and 17. Moffitt pushed Peters out front, and now he challenges William Byron for second.
Yeah, Timothy Peters can thank his teammate for having this lead off of turn number 2.
Cameron Haley back there in that bright orange 13, taking a peek underneath, and there comes Matt Crafton on the outside, on board with Crafton running in that 6th position.
Austin Wayne Self slides up the track. He's into the top 10. I don't know if we're done seeing caution jet, Phil. These guys are all over each other. Blocking, cutting each other off.
Yeah, that's teammates blocking each other. That's Cameron Haley blocking his teammate Matt Crafton. Cameron's in the 13 truck right there, running 5th.
All 3 ThorSport trucks, 13, 88, 41, all 3 running right around one another, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
See Timothy Peters trying to break the draft off the 9 of William Byron. Try not to let him get any kind of momentum going. Look at Matt Crafton. He's going to go to the high side of his teammate.
Phelps up out of the groove behind these guys. Hangs on to that truck. Watch this run that Crafton gets.
Great momentum from Crafton. Got by both Rhodes and Haley. And now looking at Daniel Hemrick just ahead of that 19 truck.
Watch that 11. It looks like Moffitt is sizing up William Byron. Really fast Toyotas at the front. Can that Ford of Hemrick do anything with them?
See our leaderboard up at the top of the screen. Timothy Peters shadowed in yellow. That means he's in on points, would be in on points right now. Needs to win this race, get himself with a green background. That means he's solid in the chase. And if you are in yellow, that means you're looking good on points. But if you're shadowed in blue, that means you're on the outside looking in, as we have our Camping World 5 to go at Michigan.
Matt Crafton was not able to make the pass on Daniel Hemrick. It may cost him a couple spots to a couple teammates. Haley in the 13, Rhodes in the 41 are going to go by on the outside.
And Grant Enfinger lurking back there in that 24 truck's done a great job today inside the top 10. The battle is at the front, though. Timothy Peters, your leader in the 17, being chased by 5-time winner this season, William Byron.
We've talked about it. Those 3 trucks right now running 1, 2, 3 have been some of the 3 fastest trucks all day long.
4 laps to go at Michigan. Peters trying to win for the first time this season and secure a spot in the chase.
Look at Moffitt all the way down to the yellow line. That truck is handling extremely well. Can he figure out a way to get past William Byron and challenge Timothy Peters? That'll be his biggest problem.
What a great story it would be for Brett Moffitt. Didn't even have this ride at the beginning of the year on a part-time schedule. 3rd and 2nd, the last 2 races, trying to put it in victory lane today. But look at Matt Crafton making it 3 wide back there with his teammates.
All 3 Thorsport guys running side by side. They won't stay in line. They won't be able to catch this front group if they don't stay in line.
It's going to be interesting to see if Moffitt maybe tries to fall back a bit and get a good draft up. Maybe a push from Hemrick. You got to start thinking this place is like Daytona and Talladega because it's driving a whole lot like that. I think Moffitt's faster right now.
I think Daniel's struggling a little bit to stay up with this front 3. Here goes Moffitt to the bottom.
For 2nd place, can Moffitt make the pass on Byron?
And that's going to open the door for Hemrick. Here comes Hemrick. Who does he push, or does he go by them both?
Hemrick giving Byron a little bit of a shove. Peters loves seeing that from behind. At least loves seeing those guys battle it out for a position.
There's 2 to go, and look at the run. That shows you how much falling back can help when you pull up. He's going to be almost inside of Peters.
Wow. Look at Byron all over the bumper. Moffitt and Hemrick a little ways back for 3rd. Byron underneath Timothy Peters for the lead. This is where we've seen him get loose many times today, but they hold on.
What a job by Timothy Peters. He was able to keep the gas down and keep beside Byron.
The white flag is out, 1 to go, and they're side by side at Michigan.
And here, those trucks behind him may have something to do with it. How about Moffitt making it 3 wide around the outside?
On the outside for the lead, it's Brett Moffitt. What a move. Wow.
He caught those trucks side by side. He got an incredible run.
Contact now between Byron and Peters. Byron saves it back to the inside now. Peters trying to make a move on Brett Moffitt. The final lap at Michigan. Through 3 and 4, coming to the checker. Brett Moffitt trying to hold on, and does. Brett Moffitt wins at Michigan. Wow.
Oh, yeah, Willie. That is awesome. Nice work, bud. Nice work. Nice work. Proud of you guys. Proud of you, Brett. You did a smart job there, bud. Very nice job. Congratulations.
What a great 1-2 finish for Red Horse.
That's as good as it gets. A last lap pass to win your first race.
Awesome effort in the last 3 weeks.
His first career lap led, and it's for the win. His first career win in the Camping World Truck Series.
And I guarantee he didn't know if that truck was going to stick or not, but it's not time to worry about that. He drove all the way above the groove to make that pass.
That's his crew chief right there. Oh, that's Timothy Peters' crew chief. Shane Huffman knows that a win would put him in the chase.
What a great story for Brett Moffitt winning here today. His first career win in just his 6th start in the Truck Series. 4th driver to score his first career win at Michigan. And the best part, he led 1 lap today, and that's the last one. That's the one you want to lead, right?
What an amazing job he did. But he was one of the fastest trucks all day, guys.
Well, we said it in our setup for the race today. We said a guy like Moffitt, who's not chase eligible, could throw a wrench in this whole thing by winning this race, and it's exactly what he did.
And just think the way he took that lead up there on the high side, on that outside groove that this track worked so hard on to bring in. I think it's there. See, a great race. God, that was fun. Let's go get the checker flag. What do you say?
Well, the man behind the truck is the crew chief, Scott Zippadelli, and he is with Caitlin.
Thank you, Vince. Well, Scott, how impressed have you been with Brett Moffitt over the last couple weeks and now coming here and getting the win?
Very impressed with this young man. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of raw speed, and he's just a sweet kid to work with. I had the privilege to work with him in 2011, and we did really well. But this is awesome, and I can't thank Tom DeLoach and his wife Myra for all their support and giving us an unbelievable race team and company to work for. Toyota and all the guys and girls back at Red Horse Racing, thank you very much. You guys did a great job, and we're going to enjoy this.
Congratulations.
Well, there it is, Vince. 4, 3, 2, 1. Drove to victory lane. It's a pretty good streak that young man's on.
Where does he go next?
Yeah, well, and we saw it coming, didn't we?
Yeah.
The first last lap pass for a win at Michigan. Brett Moffitt did it. Wow, a breathtaking race here at Michigan today. We knew it was going to be exciting, but what a thriller. A 1-2 finish for Red Horse Racing. Brett Moffitt, the winner, and Caitlin Vincey is down in victory lane.
Well, Vince, Brett came close to winning last week at Bristol Motor Speedway with that runner-up finish, and this week he seals the deal in victory lane. Lots of celebrating happening down here for this Red Horse Racing team. Brett, earlier in the weekend you told me what a big opportunity this has been for you competing at Red Horse. What does this mean to you to get a truck to victory lane?
This has been huge. At the beginning of the year I had nothing on my schedule, so it's coming here and these guys give me such good race trucks week in and week out. We knew it was only a matter of time, and honestly during the race I didn't think it was going to be our day. It was just tough out there with the draft, but what an amazing finish. Couldn't have worked out any better for us. Can't thank Tom DeLoach and everyone at Red Horse enough and Camping World for putting this on.
Obviously you wanted to win, but any thought when you passed your teammate there who's racing to get into the chase at all in the closing laps?
I'm here to win. I said it earlier, I'll say it again, and I'm not going to wreck him for it. I'm going to race him clean because he needs to get in the chase, but this team needs to win, and these guys deserve to win. So that's what we come to do, and our partners at Toyota want to do the same, and we got it.
Congratulations.
Absolutely terrific, and I love that attitude. I'm here to win. The team deserves it.
You know, I love the fact that at Bristol, he could have roughed up Ben Kennedy and maybe gone to victory lane a week or so ago. He didn't do it. He raced him like a gentleman, and here he is in victory lane.
Well, that win by a non-chase eligible driver really put the hurt on those guys, hoping something magical would happen from a point standpoint. So Cole Custer, who ended up crashing out, Tyler Reddick had contact, Cameron Haley, Spencer Gallagher, but really strengthens the position for Hemrick and Peters from a points position. But remember, we still got 2 races to go until the chase begins.
We're still nervous. We still can't relax.
I don't think it changes a thing yet, Vince. We've got to make sure when somebody after the race is over taps Timothy Peters, Daniel Hemrick on the shoulders and say you're in the chase, then they can relax.
Then they can breathe.
Up until then, they got to try to lead every lap, win the race, and protect their position.
Well, Timothy Peters led the most laps today, led 42, but he ended up finishing second as his teammate beat him to the line. Let's find out what Timothy's reaction is. He's with Hermie.
Well, Timothy, you guys battled for the lead all day long. You battled with the 9 on the next to last lap. Then your teammate, the 11, got in on the last lap. Your emotions, 1 spot short.
Good day for Red Horse Racing. Congrats to Brett Moffitt. 1-2 finish. I wish we were 1, but all in all, the company brings the trophy back. 9 locked onto our bumper. They're off for 2 and pushed us really hard down into turn 3. But you know, we had to do all we had to do to stay in front. But good effort by everybody at Red Horse Racing, Shane Huffman, the pit crew, Toyota. Triad engines, just tough to swallow right there, but felt good to run like we did all day.
Big time effort for Timothy Peters. He comes home second.
Hard to take, though, when you're that close and it means so much, all that's on the line.
But that's what a class act Timothy Peters is. Very, very gracious in congratulating his teammate, Brett Moffitt.
Look at some of those in the top 20 today and beyond. Tough day for Cole Custer, Christopher Bell, Spencer Gallagher, John Hunter, Nemechek, all guys trying to make their way into the chase. Well, we said yesterday when we saw him go 3 wide in practice, couldn't wait to see what the race had in store for us today, and it did not disappoint. It was an absolute thriller, and Brett Moffitt parked it.
A thriller
in victory lane.
A thriller 3-wide pass on the last lap. It gave us everything we wanted. A lot of action. We had strategy like we thought we'd have, and we knew that 11 truck would be strong today, and he drives into victory lane.
And the strongest trucks were up front there at the end. How about Daniel Hemrick that stuck in there in the top 3 right at the end of the race? Great job of him and his guys.
Well, our next race comes your way Sunday, September 4th from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Glad to have you with us today from Michigan, where Brett Moffitt is your winner.